So, when I was in Tennessee, we went to the Monroe County Balloon Festival. Hot air balloons. It had a whole bunch of stuff. It was going to be a great time. So, we decided to head there. It was out in a field in a big airport type of thing. My uncle got distracted by the petting zoo. But what I had in mind was that little thing on the flyer. Did you see it? New classic airplanes. First of all, that's an oxymoron. I keep seeing new classic flavor. That's an oxymoron. Classic is not new. Why do people keep doing that? Especially corporations. Stop it. But anyway, I went over to the aeroplanes, and let me tell you what, I like airplanes. I like being in a place like this. Now, I'll tell you what, I don't know what the rest of my family was doing. I kind of wandered off on my own, but I typically do that anyway. These are a bunch of like personal planes, older planes. I'm sure they're basically just for personal use. Except for this guy. I mean, look at that shiny thing. He was answering a bunch of people's questions, but I didn't really have any at the time. But it looked really neat. Started looking around at some other planes. These were like in the way back. And there was not a lot of people around, but there was this particular plane, and it was a little messed up, and these people were in my shot, so I had to just wait a little bit. Okay, great. So now they're not in the shot, but yeah, look at that. That looks pretty scary. I wonder how that happened. I wonder if it was in the air. You know, I hope that would never happen to me. Yeah, that's right. I fly. Well, I used to. This was me when I was in the Civil Air Patrol. Yep, 6,200 feet off the ground, going 130 miles per hour in a Cessna C-182. Yeah, look at that. Um, that's a G1000 glass cockpit right there. And you know what? It was a great time. Did I throw up? Yes, but it was still neat. And you know, this was actually at the airport where the 9/11 terrorists trained for, well, inevitably 9/11. But let's not think about that. Look at this beautiful view. So eventually, Mr. Man in this airplane started flying, and I saw something next to his arm in the cockpit. Something kind of alarming. And so I didn't know why it was there or like what it meant. All I knew is that it was pretty shitty, and I need to cheer up. Okay, so maybe I don't need a hero, but the hot air balloons started going up now, um, which is really neat. It's a really interesting process. They have to like take it out of this giant truck or wherever they're keeping it at in the trailer, and they have to lay it out a certain way, put air and wind, and put the jet propulsion thing in it so it's got like the air and stuff. We took a seat and started watching as they all got inflated. Right here is my favorite guy, Tweety Bird. Um, he was pretty cool, and he was getting up and going. And there was a lot of other things. I mean, these hang gliders were pretty neat. Um, at first there was just the one guy, and he was flying around, but then his partner came, and I was just thinking, it's so nice to have a partner, someone to do that with, and um, it was nice. Oh, there's lots of other things flying around too. Thought it was pretty neat. Um, so then the Tweety Bird got all up and fully inflated, and I just was like, dude, I want to go there.
What makes a balloon rise is, is the heat. We make the air molecules lighter inside the balloon by superheating them.
So he started blabbering about all the things they do. I mean, honestly, it was really neat to learn. A lot of the stuff I kind of knew, but he's telling us how they release air from the top and all that. And I got the whole family to come over, and some of them were a little nervous to go talk to people, just like in general, but it was neat. So then I eventually went in there, and I had a pretty elongated hair routine at this point, and my aunt saw a picture of me and said I looked like a pedophile, which hurt my feelings. But look, all of them are starting to get blown up and nice and inflated. And look how pretty that is. Sometimes I just wish I had someone to lean on, you know, um, someone that I could be with flowing through the wind that is life. Um, and I think about that sometimes. But you know what? They were giving out rides, and I said, you know what? When else am I going to go on one of these? So I went up in one with my sister, and it took forever to get in there. And I was terrified, to be honest. She was having a great time, and she's the one who gets scared. But yeah, so that was the Hot Air Balloon Festival. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.